Hello, good evening, Monday evening. Welcome to North West Tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Roger Johnson. Our top story. The Runcorn and Helsby MP, Mike Amesbury, is set to resign after admitting assault and denies he got off lightly with a suspended sentence.
Losing my livelihood, have a criminal record, losing the family home. If people think that's likely, so be it.
The 55-year-old's 10-week prison sentence was suspended for 2 years. Also tonight, a water quality row breaks out in Windermere as businesses accuse a minister of putting tourists off.
Let's play bingo!
Bongo bingo big time. An audience of thousands as Liverpool's gaming phenomenon celebrates its 10th birthday.
And hasn't it been a glorious weekend and a lovely start to the day on the Isle of Man? Look at those blue skies. Turning chilly, though. Just how chilly? Join me at the end of the programme. I'll tell you all the details.
The MP for Runcorn and Helsby, Mike Amesbury, is set to resign. The 55-year-old was jailed for 10 weeks after admitting assaulting a man in Frodsham last October. The sentence was then suspended on appeal. Mr Amesbury denies he got special treatment, telling the BBC, as you heard tonight, that he'll lose his family home as a result of losing his job. Well, our Cheshire political reporter, Kaylee Watterson, is in the newsroom for us. Tell us more about what Mike Amesbury said, Kaylee.
So Mike Amesbury's been speaking to the BBC this afternoon, which is the first interview he's given since spending 3 nights in prison before his sentence was suspended on appeal. He's now said he'll resign, in his words, at the earliest opportunity, saying there's processes around redundancies for his 6 staff. He was asked during that interview if he should pay back the money he's earned as an MP since the assault took place last October.
I've still been working, of course, yes, so I've been working in the constituency. Casework is coming in as we speak. I have members of staff.
Are you still working in prison?
Sorry?
Were you still working in prison?
Yes, actually, yes. So I, through my office manager, then got correspondence, yes.
So Mike Amesbury there speaking to the BBC this afternoon, and during that interview he was also asked if he got away lightly because he was an MP.
Losing my livelihood, have a criminal record, losing the family home. If people think that's likely, so be it. So be it. I'm not saying woe is me. I'm owning it. I'm owning it. I've done wrong.
So, Kaylee, just explain what this all means for the constituents of Runcorn and Helsby.
So this means that a by-election will now take place, and that will be the first by-election since Labour won the general election last summer. And there will be plenty of interest in this, as politics professor John Tong recently told me.
Runcorn and Helsby is one of the safest Labour seats in the country, so it will be quite some feat for it to no longer have a Labour MP if there is a by-election. But if you look at the opinion polls, they suggest that Reform is flying very high within those polls. So it could be a very, very interesting contest.
So this seat's set to be of interest to both Labour and Reform. And it means the first by-election under Sir Keir Starmer will take place in Cheshire, which is interesting because the first by-election under his predecessor, Rishi Sunak, also took place in the county.
You'll be spending a lot of time there, Kaylee. Thank you very much indeed. Kaylee Watterson there. Now, let's take a look at some of the other stories making headlines in the North West tonight. And Lancashire Police has warned drug users in Blackpool after 2 men and a woman were found dead over the past 6 weeks. The force says a major investigation has been launched and users should seek immediate medical help if they notice any different reactions. A 31-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of supplying Class A drugs. The Greater Manchester police officer who was involved in a fatal crash during the pursuit of a stolen Audi A3 has been charged with causing death by dangerous driving. PC Mark Burrow was driving an unmarked car when it collided with a Peugeot 108 driven by Heather Smedley, who died at the scene in Oldham in 2022. People on the Isle of Man who are at a higher risk of exposure to bird flu are being urged to have the flu vaccine. Manx Care says it wants to lower the risk of poultry workers and bird handlers getting human and avian flu at the same time. Now, the government says that nothing but rainwater will go into Windermere from now on. That after England's largest lake, of course, has been blighted by millions of litres of sewage in recent times. The Environment Secretary says that investment for pumping stations and new reservoirs will control sewage spills across the UK. But some businesses in Cumbria say that the focus on Windermere, he was there today to make the announcement, is putting visitors off. Here's our environment correspondent, Judy Hobson.
England's biggest lake is again at the centre of a national focus on ending sewage pollution. Millions of litres of sewage was discharged into the lake last year through storm overflows and private sewage systems. Today the government said it was unacceptable and is consulting various groups and the water company on building a network of pipes to take all sewage away from the area.
I can work with investors to bring in the money that we need to fix the problems so that we can restore lakes such as Windermere to that pristine state that they used to be in.
Local campaigners welcomed the news.
To see government today standing up and wanting to deal with this problem, it's a very, very welcome first step. My concern, it comes from being cynical, doing this for 4 years, is that this is so far just an objective. It's a vision, it's an ambition, and we want to see this absolutely concrete. We want to see a legally binding commitment, and we're going to continue until that happens.
The new network would be costly, and it's unclear how it would be paid for. United Utilities says it's already investing £200 million on upgrading infrastructure, and said so far the investment is working.
Yeah, so we're really pleased that the data shows some real improvements. So in the Windermere area alone, we've seen a 28% reduction in spills across 2024 versus 2023. That's more than 2,400 hours less of spillages into the Windermere Lake through that year, even though it was the 8th wettest winter on record.
Data from the group Love Windermere shows the lake is healthier than it was a decade ago. And 4 areas have bathing water status, showing water quality is excellent. Some businesses fear the focus on pollution in Windermere is affecting tourism.
We see on a daily basis people enjoying the recreational value of Windermere. The business that I manage welcomes 1.3 million visitors to Windermere every year, and the water body that you see behind you is tested consistently as excellent. But there is still work to do. We're not complacent. We've got challenges going forward with increasing lake temperature, and therefore we need to further reduce nutrient levels. We have a plan to do that.
A feasibility study will now take place into making Windermere sewage-free. In the meantime, local businesses here hope visitors will still come and enjoy one of the most beautiful places in the country. Judy Hobson, BBC North West Tonight, Windermere.
Now, if you were watching last week, you'll know that during the course of this month, we're looking at the impact of immigration in the region. Tonight, our focus turns to Blackburn. Following rioting elsewhere in 2001, the Lancashire town was described as one of the most segregated places in Britain. Since then, a lot of work has been done to promote community cohesion. But how successful has it been? And is segregation a lasting cause for concern? Well, Jonas Muller has been taking a look at the issue.
Blackburn in Lancashire, more than a third of its population identify as Asian. Almost 60% white. What does community cohesion mean here? And what, if anything, needs to be done? This project tackles segregation, both gender and cultural. Saima Afzal is a former assistant police and crime commissioner. She founded the cycling club and believes integration has to be organic.
I don't really like the whole, here's a Christmas card poster and come and join in and look how many people are there, or here's an Eid celebration, because that's all what I call tourist fashion cohesion. It's got to be genuine, otherwise it's just done because it's a project and somebody's chucking money on it. We support each other, yeah.
I've started to remember names.
We've started to challenge ourselves a little bit as well. Like some of the ladies that we have in our community don't actually go out of their comfort zone. So when they've come with us and joined us, they have bloomed
If you weren't coming here,
Yes.
would you be mixing with Hamida or Yasmin or some of the women from different backgrounds?
Not as much.
Across the town, there's effectively a divide. Highcroft in the southwest has a population that is predominantly white.
The Asians have been over Audley and the whites have been up here. It's always.
Walk through Audley in that time.
Yeah, I've gone to Audley and all the boys are coming out. I'm wondering why a whitehead's walking round and you're getting funny looks, man.
John Warwick is 37. He's always lived here.
What did you do when that happened to, when that...
Carried on walking, me, blanking, bro.
The other side of town, Whalley Range or Audley, predominantly home to a mainly Asian Muslim population. I spoke to Zafar Hussain.
Are you worried that some people might live in other areas like Highcroft and here?
Well, I have noticed that there's a bit of segregation, because I do a lot of deliveries and there's some areas you go to and there's a lot of, English people living there. But I personally, I've never had an issue with it.
But Blackburn's independent MP Adnan Hussain is concerned. This is what he told North West Tonight recently.
I feel Blackburn is hugely segregated. You can't boost an economy with a segregated town. I want to build bridges.
Do you get sick and tired of people talking about Blackburn and segregation in the same sentence?
Yes, I do.
Council leader Phil Riley says there are plenty of examples of cohesion. Festivals in the town, people at work.
I really don't think there's any need to sort of force fit this, to be honest with you. And I'm not sure that it bothers too many people now.
What about the MP saying the town is hugely segregated and it's a real challenge for him and he wants to work at it?
The town is physically segregated. People live in their communities and they do that because people just do that, and people live near their relatives and lots of people live near the schools, and Asian people are keen to live near the mosque and things of that nature.
But in Whalley Range, more Asian businesses is being seen as good and a boost to the economy. Khalid Khan has been here for a quarter of a century.
From a business point of view, I don't think there's a segregation, really. I think Blackburn is an up and heaving business community, really, being honest. It's all shops are busy, all businesses are busy. There are many startups in Blackburn.
Here in Blackburn, building better relationships has also meant using government funding to tackle extremism and ideologies easily found on social media.
I wasn't allowed out either, were you?
Nope, definitely not. Yeah, my mum was like, oh, they're going to be doing acid attacks.
The point of this project is to get people thinking and aware that this might not be true. The second step is to help them spot this might not be real.
You think perhaps builds better relationships and prevents any tensions?
100%. And it stops us going into this hole, I guess, which is what we dug ourselves into last summer.
Blackburn's population is changing. Where there is concern over community cohesion, there's also confidence over what the future may bring. Eunice Muller, BBC North West Tonight, Blackburn.
More on immigration tomorrow. Right now, we're talking about the silver screen, and the Oscars may have been and gone, but Manchester's annual film festival is only just getting started. Movie fanatics from across the UK will be heading to the city from Friday to watch more than 150 original movies, including the premiere of the latest feature film from the Middleton actor Steve Coogan. Hannah Jameson reports.
We want to tell you our truth.
Manchester Film Festival is back. Now, in its 11th year, the 10-day event takes over 3 venues: the Arts Centre Home, the Odeon at the Great Northern, and Manchester's latest cultural offering, Aviva Studios, which on Friday premieres Steve Coogan's latest film, The Penguin Lessons.
Whatever opinions you have, keep them to yourself. And no smoking, no pets.
If you keep this between ourselves, I'll let you all feed him some fish. Deal? Yes, he's okay with that.
And there's plenty of local talent on show, like 21-year-old Met Film School student Harry, whose university project has been selected.
I bet you'd never thought when you started it that it would be on the big screen here.
Not really. Yeah, we knew it was good and we really liked it, but no, we didn't think we'd get this far.
Set in Edale in Derbyshire, the Duke of Wellington follows the life of Mark on tour as he plays his ukulele at open mic nights.
I always wanted to go on a rock and roll tour of some sort. The idea of travelling around with an instrument
was
What have your family made of this, that you're now a film star?
I don't know if I'm a film star yet.
Oh, you are.
They're overawed by it, just can't believe how fantastic it is. They're expecting to go to a trip to New York next month, and where this is released. It is being released over there, isn't it?
Last year, the film Piece of Cake, starring much-loved Brassic actor Steve Everts, took the prize for Best Cinematography. Now there's hopes the Burnley director can have repeat success with his latest offering, Humble Pie.
I'm pro, northwest, shoot, make stuff up here, and all my stuff's very it's very northern-centric, so it's the perfect audience for us to get it in a room full of fellow northerners and or people who want to see what the north is about and just put something daft on for them.
Manchester Film Festival starts this Friday. Anna Jameson, BBC North West Tonight in Manchester.
Pie was making my tummy rumble. Let's move on to sport. Ian is here. Massive week for Liverpool. They can get in the quarterfinals of the Champions League tomorrow. They've got the League Cup final at the weekend, and the Premier League is all but in the bag, isn't it? 15
Surely,
points
all the
clear.
Are paying out. We're saying they've won it already. I think most of them have now, actually. But yeah, as you say, they're now further ahead at the top of the Premier League table, helped by Manchester United drawing to a second-placed Arsenal yesterday. But while United has a decent enough day football-wise, there were less than happy scenes prior to kick-off as supporters' unhappiness once again came to the fore. And before kick-off. Many fans have long since had enough of the Glazer family's ownership. This was the first major protest since Sir Jim Ratcliffe took a near 30% stake last year. He's overseen one round of staff redundancies and confirmed a second one, along with raising matchday ticket prices to £66 a game without concessions. The declining standard.
We had more space and more energy also because of the results in our fans to score another goal. So if I look at the performance, I'm quite pleased.
You may have seen an interview with Sir Jim Ratcliffe on the national news a few minutes ago in which he said some United players are not good enough and some are overpaid. That full article is now available to have a look at on the BBC Sport website. Well, it's going to be a busy night in the EFL tomorrow with many of our teams in action. Both lost while in League One. Bolton Wanderers are into the playoff places after a 2-1 win at Burton. And in League Two, Amari Patrick's winner gave Tranmere a vital win over Bromley on a day the teams either side of them, Accrington and Morecambe, were both beaten. Some breaking news in the last hour, and Manchester City women have sacked head coach Gareth Taylor just 5 days before their League Cup final, and they replaced him until the end of the season with former manager Nick Cushing. Taylor had been in charge for nearly 5 years, winning 2 major honours, but the side are currently 4th in the WSL, 12 points behind defending champions Chelsea. Now, this comes a day after his side beat Aston Villa 2-0 in their FA Cup quarter-final to set up a semi-final with holders Manchester United, who beat Sunderland on Saturday. Liverpool, meanwhile, won 1-0 at Arsenal, meaning they'll go to Chelsea in the semis. In Super League, there were defeats on Friday for St Helens and Salford Red Devils, where last week it was reported staff and players hadn't received their wages for February. Yesterday, Warrington Wolves lost 16-30 at home to Wakefield in their first match back from Vegas, meaning their opponents from America, Wigan Warriors, were the only one of our sides to win in this round of matches, 44-18 against Huddersfield Giants. Now, it feels like I say this at least once a week, and I'll say it again. Luke Littler's won another darts title. This time, the Nuke from Warrington has retained his Belgian Open title, beating local hero Mike De Decker 8-5 in the final. Later this week, he's back in Premier League darts action in Nottingham. He'll probably win that too.
Right, we're off to the bingo now. It's almost like a football-sized crowd or a sports crowd. It was huge at the weekend. Started off in Liverpool in a pub.
I've been sat next to Kevin Fitzpatrick editing this all afternoon. It's crazy.
I know, it is bonkers. It's Bongo's bingo. It's now a worldwide phenomenon. It's 10 years old, and it celebrated that milestone by playing to thousands at the weekend. And Kevin Fitzpatrick, who's been editing that report all afternoon, sitting next to Ian, has a report that contains some flashing images.
4 and 7, 47.
It's bingo, but not as you might know it.
Let's play bingo!
It's a full-throttle version of the game, with dancing in between, and people seem to love it.
Everybody's up and dancing.
spots. It's good. I love it because it's good for all ages. So you've got the older ones like myself, and then obviously the younger ones. It's really high out.
This is next level.
Next level bingo?
Yes, next level. This is good.
My name is Johnny Bongo. I will be your bingo caller this evening.
Its inventor and main host came up with the idea while running his weekly quiz night.
I took something like a quiz that can sometimes be a bit stale or a bit dull, and I breathed a new lease of life into it, and mad bonus rounds and prizes, and I did that for 5 years, and then I fancied doing another event and stumbled upon, OK, I'm going to try bingo.
And that's when it took off and saw the punters flooding in. Each of Friday and Saturday saw 3,500 people attend its birthday celebrations at the Liverpool Exhibition Centre, and it's now played at 40 locations every week, with many people return customers.
You'll see tonight, if Johnny says who's ever been to a Bongo's Bingo before, more than half the room will put their hands up, and that's like the same at every show.
One regular is 97-year-old Anne Gandy from Walton, who was there again on Saturday.
I love Bongo's Bingo. I really do like it. I just love going.
6 and 1, 61.
The games see people having to dance off against each other if there's more than one winner, with the crowd deciding who comes out on top.
It's escapism. People just come and let loose at the shows, and the crowd is a massive mix of all ages, all walks of life, but everyone's here just to have fun. Just pure, let your hair down, don't care what anybody thinks, everybody get up dancing, and everybody is always on the same wavelength.
With the UK market cracked, moving abroad is the target for the next decade, with launch events in Europe, Dubai, and even Australia so far. In the meantime, there are numbers to call and prizes to win.
It's just a party. It's just off. It is. It's just an absolute party.
Last time she won a big cash prize, £1,000 at the end of the night. It's been brilliant.
Amazing.
You really enjoyed it, have you? Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Are you ready for a dance-off if you get called up?
100%.
Kevin Fitzpatrick, BBC North West Tonight, Liverpool.
Incredible, isn't it? Fancy that, Ian?
Absolutely not, Rog.
It's mad. Ian just said, I should let you into a secret. While we were watching that, Ian just said, it's like a room full of Kay Crewdsons. Everybody was really up for it,
What
weren't
exactly
they?
do you mean, Ian?
Nothing.
Just having a great time, weren't they?
Just having a great time.
So you've been sitting next to Kevin Fitzpatrick all afternoon. I've been sitting next to her. Listen, where's going on the map this week?
You have to wait and see.
Okay.
I've got a new one for you. Thank you for all your emails. Yeah, spot your beady eyes and I'll tell you who it's from at the end. For today, it's not actually been too bad. Temperatures are going to drop as we head later tonight, and the rest of the week looks chilly. But your photographs, Mansa, beautiful photograph overlooking the River Loon. Thank you for that picture. And look at this one, the singing, ringing tree overlooking Burnley. I loved it. Thank you. Thanks for sending those in. You can follow me on socials, or you can become a BBC Weather Watcher. Send your pictures in and I'll try and get them on the TV for you. So this week, how are we doing? Like I said, it is going to get colder as we head through tonight and then for the rest of the week. So a bit of a difference from that beautiful weather we had over the weekend. And also, it's been quite breezy today, hasn't it? We've got some cold northerly winds all week with the risk of showers, and some of those are likely to be wintry. Less cold for the weekend. Nowhere near what we had this weekend, but less cold. More on that in a minute. You can see on the map, we're pulling down those darker blue colours, a cold northerly airflow, and that brings with it the threat of some showers that are likely to be wintry, particularly over the hills. Now you can see we've got this cloud. Now this blanket of cloud that's just pushing down across the Isle of Man and Cumbria, sinking south, that's actually a cold front. That's the transition. So behind it, we start to pull down that colder air and clearer skies. Quite a blustery night, a keen northerly breeze, temperatures down to freezing in some spots, below in others. So we are looking at a patchy frost first thing tomorrow morning. But the best of the bright sunshine will be at first. We are going to see cloud generally increasing as we head into the afternoon. And the showers are more likely to be over the Pennines and the Fells. Where they do fall through the day tomorrow, they're likely to be a bit sleety. Still blustery, and temperatures really, I mean, Buxton 5 degrees, on the Isle of Man we're talking about 8 degrees. And we're looking at further showers pushing through as we head through tomorrow night. Pushing forwards towards the end of the week, we start to get high pressure building. So if you want to see further ahead to the weekend, high pressure will kill off any showers and temperatures will increase a couple of degrees. Not quite where we want to be, but average for the time of year. For Wednesday, variable if not large amounts of cloud as we head into the afternoon. Still the ongoing risk of the odd isolated shower or two. You can't rule out any hail where you get those showers. Top temperatures around 8 degrees, and it stays like that same pattern as we head through the rest of the week. Did you spot it?
Millom.
Millom! Lovely Jane in Millom emailed.
Right.
You're welcome. You can email if you'd like to put your name on the map.
Brilliant.
nwt@bbc.co.uk.
Listen, here's someone who's super organised. It's the 10th of March. Francis has emailed to ask when we're going to open nominations for Christmas stars. Well done, Francis.
Francis.
Few more months yet, but great to know you're interested. Have a great night.
Take care.